Good afternoon. Today I am going to be reacting to some tracks from Fire Emblem IV, Genealogy of the Holy War. And I'm going to try doing multiple pieces in one video this time, because when I checked the length, some of them were really short. And I think that'll be really cool. Maybe someday I'll do like full soundtrack reactions or like full albums, doing like contemporary music or multi-movements for classical. But yeah, I'm excited to do this. I personally have never played Fire Emblem IV. It's also very high on my list. I'm kind of trying to pick music from games that I haven't played, but I do respect and am looking forward to playing soon. As a way to kind of like pique my interest for them a little bit. Like, I feel like that makes sense. I mean, I'd be happy to look at music from a game I've never played and don't plan on playing, for sure. That's still very interesting. But yeah, I've kind of been leaning towards games that I actually am really looking forward to trying and feel like I've missed out on. I've played a lot of the Fire Emblem series. I haven't gone back to the old ones, but I started with the Game Boy Advance ones, and they're some of my favorite of all time. They've made it one of my favorite series. Fire Emblem 6 through 8 are really peak for me. Fire Emblem 9 and 10 on the GameCube and Wii also like quite a lot. I would say Fire Emblem 7 and then Path of Radiance are my two favorite. And then I've played like Awakening, and I recently played Shadows of Valentia, Echoes. And that was great. But 4 might be the next one on my list. I've heard amazing things about it, and I've definitely haven't heard any music. So we are going to take a look at a few tracks here. I think I'm going to look at 3. Again, never heard these even for a second ever, unless I didn't know it. I'm going to start with one called Disturbance in Agustria, and also looks like Doorway to Destiny and Eldigan the Lionheart are recommended by some people on Reddit. And hopefully the recommendations are good. Just going to check it out. I'm expecting definitely an old sound. I'm going to assume these are coming from the SNES, the Super Nintendo, if my memory's correct about the platform for this game. And I hope to hear that kind of old school sound. I love it. And yeah, let's see what I think. Oops, back to the scene. So this is Disturbance in Agustria, and I'll add chapters with the right names so you can quickly jump around. Ooh. That kind of bass guitar sound, very Castlevania. Wow. Okay, that's way more like modern drum percussion than I would expect. At least it sounds like it to me. Okay, big change here. I really like the harmonic progression that happened right there. At risk of saying that too often in my videos, but that really stands out to me. It's just something you can feel when it's a little unexpected or it's a little bit more interesting. Yeah, man, if you played this song and was like, this comes from Castlevania 4, I would be like, yeah, Super Castlevania 4, absolutely, it must be from that. Also big Castlevania fan, also haven't played many of the older ones. You know, from Soten onwards, I've played almost everything. But yeah, this has such a just walking around in the castle, you know, probably the beginning of the game. It's got that kind of like, you know, bass guitar sort of pulse, heartbeat-esque pulse. And it's got this woodwind melody up there. But, I mean, come on. You can't tell me that doesn't sound like Castlevania. It absolutely does. I mean, it's maybe a little bit fantasy medieval, like, but that's the thing with something like Castlevania. Anything with vampires harkens back to, you know, classical and medieval, and they are a fantasy thing. So like, it's a little bit of a different vibe. This does feel a little bit lower energy and a little bit more like medieval than I would expect from, say, Castlevania, but it's very close. It's very close. And I want to find this cool harmonic moment. right here. It's just not what I expected. Getting these synths in the background. Interesting. Okay, right back. So probably only 2 sections in this, as a shorter loop, which is totally to be expected. But man, like if you just took this and added some lyrics, had somebody sing it, and a certain instrumentation, I swear this could be a ballad. This would fit to me perfectly in like a Japanese city pop style. Like, and I'm sure that was like kind of big around, when this game was made, but it almost feels like it's like a transcription of like a city pop ballad. Like, I would love to hear like just under the guise of that, just disguised as a city pop song, or even just like a kind of Japanese 80s kind of pop ballad. I think it's that the bass and drums really do make it sound like a contemporary piece of music, like an actual song. And the melody's really vocal. Like, it does, there's something about it that just has that sound like it's transcribed from a song. As someone who's done like song transcriptions and is familiar with them in other contexts, and has heard pieces of instrumental or even game music that actually are transcriptions of songs, there's this funny one on the worst game music playlist that's actually just a transcription of Livin' La Vida Loca, I think, which is, it's funny, and that's why it's on that playlist of the worst game music. It's somewhere near the beginning, but like, it doesn't sound bad at all. It's just like, there's a sound when you're transcribing a like pop song's vocal melody, and something about it just feels like that, which is probably a good thing. It probably means like there's something kind of catchy and vocal about this woodwind melody. Anyways, it goes back to the other section, and we'll listen out and see if it just loops. We're back to very chill Castlevania. The game's easy. We're just entering the castle from the courtyard. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. It's 1996. You just woke up Saturday morning. Turn on your SNES. I like that little build. Reminds me of the Fire Emblem Awakening piece that we did. Alright, now it's gonna fade out. But was this new? This thing. I mean, that's really great, and I feel like that didn't happen before. No, it did. Okay, I'm just an idiot. Okay, that did happen. I just didn't catch it the first time, really, but it's really neat, and it does remind me a lot of the intro to Don't Speak Her Name, which was actually the first reaction I did on this channel. It starts with that stepping up and harmonizing that upward stepwise motion in the bass and in the harmony. Yeah, that was really cool. Let me switch back here. It's simple. It's short. It's 2 sections, but I love it. Like, I really I love the vibe so much. Like, it's very nostalgic for me, and I still listen to this kind of stuff. So let's see. Doorway to Destiny. I might have heard a Steam notification there. That's an that's an hour-long track. That's an orchestral cover. There we go. There's an 18-minute version. Like, yeah, we're not reacting to the hour-long one, and I definitely want the original. So here we go. This is called Doorway to Destiny. Oh, that's so Fire Emblem. it to the end of this section. Okay, so that first like 35 seconds was and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it could have been from any Fire Emblem, or well, any Fire Emblem on like a handheld with that kind of sound. Not that this is a handheld, but you know, it's that older, technologically limited sound palette. You know, it's just so, it's the essence of Fire Emblem. This is like what you expect. This is when you're planning a battle. This is when you're in the menus, in between chapters, you know, maybe even like a main menu, but definitely in like planning out the battle, you know, selecting the units for the fight. Like maybe you're at the armory. Like, oh, it's so perfectly Fire Emblem. And I wonder if this is like the first place that sound got really defined. I also wonder if some of the later tracks like this in the series may have even drawn upon this, or actually just a version of this track. If Doors of Destiny is potentially, if this is potentially like the basis for those other tracks, and that's why they sound so similar, or if they just like share a certain aesthetic. Yeah, but this shift here actually sounds like it's going to make it seem quite different than the typical. Like, what is that? Like, it's off the beat a little bit. It's just not how you expect the pattern to go, especially with how like stately and kind of military the rest of it sounds. Nice, does it again, gets catchy. Yes. Oh, that sings. Oh my god, that's so good. I didn't realize this track was going to be this good. The first 40 seconds were just like, this is great. This is like iconic Fire Emblem, but it's also like just what I expect. Maybe it set the vibe for the series, but oh god, this like kind of synth melody just sings. And it got even I can't even talk. It was so good. It got even better after I was first impressed. Like it did a beautiful little harmonic thing. Yes, I love that descending bass. Oh, again, it's one of my favorite things, right? Love that. We'll be here all day if I just talk about how much I like that. See if this is the loop with the other section again. I hope it gives me the other section again. All right, here we are. What a great melody. Yes. All right, here we get the loop. I kind of wish this wasn't something that had to be a shorter loop and that it could continue being more through composed. Like that this cadence here could be like a really satisfying, like kind of different cadence. That instead of just going to that minor, I wish it could like really build the tension and release it harmonically. But you know, it's a repeat of the same section. It can't really keep doing that and move to a whole new thing. But just like, oh, that section melodically is so beautiful that it just makes me wish it could even be allowed to blossom even further. But man, that part of it is so good. Oh, I really wasn't I figured these would be good recommendations, and I know it's a great game and probably has great music, but I didn't think I would like any of it as much as I liked that. Like that was really great. And now I'm even more excited for the last one here that was recommended. Again, I'm just pulling this off Reddit for now before people start giving me a lot of suggestions to go to, which is called Eldigan, the Lionheart. And again, I don't want a 1 hour track. And maybe I'm not spelling it right. Or is it Eltshan or Eltshan? I'm not sure I'm going to find necessarily the correct track. I do see that they did it in like a 25th anniversary concert. So you know what? We're going to listen to the hour one, and not for an hour, but just until I can tell it's going to loop. And back to the video. As you can see, 59 minutes and 47 seconds. But yeah, here we go. Oh, shit. Oh, that slaps. If I was playing this game, I would be rocking out to this every time. Holy shit, this track is incredible. This track is so good. What the heck? Ah, what an iconic little intro. And that's almost to like a cliche of like this exact bit. But you kind of expect it to go and then back to one. Like that's done in a lot of pieces, and it goes a little bit different. It changes the shape there and goes harmonically in a different direction. I mean, I love that kind of thing, but yeah, it's kind of funny that it sounds like a lot of other things until it doesn't. And it does this thing right here, I think. Like, what is that? Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-da-bum. Like, it's just so unexpected. Like, you don't hear that kind of like rhythm with the melody done very often, especially in a track that has the vibe that this has. It's so cool. Nice little heartbeat percussion. See if this is all the same. Only be a 50-second loop, but maybe. Hey, it gives us a chance to go through it again without having to go back. Oh, that's so addictive. Yeah, got those 2 heartbeats before the transition. Oh my god, that sounds so good. God, can anything but the SNES sound quite like that with those synths that are trying to sound like, you know, the string section of an orchestra? Like, can anything other than a SNES capture quite that same feeling? Like, Just it seems like it's probably sort of probably two notes of that synth moving in parallel, and a bit of a duet for a second. It sounds like that. It's not necessarily. It could just be like a sort of chord effect on it. It almost swells in and out a little bit. It's funny, it almost sounds like it's going to go into like a chorale for a second, with everything dropping out, but only does like 2 chords and then right back to the intro. It almost teases you. I'm like, hey, I'll take 10 seconds of a chorale. Like, you hit me with it. What was I playing recently or seeing that had a beautiful like chorale section in it? I can't remember. I wish I could. Was it Baldur's Gate 3? I don't think it was. It was something else. Anyways, shout out to one of the best chorales in any game soundtrack piece, which is the Smash Brothers Brawl main theme. That has wonderful, wonderful 4-part vocal chorale. It's so good. But I think we've hit the loop. I'm going to like skip through a little bit and see if any section's obviously different. Just 1, 2, and then right back. Yeah, it's such a short loop, honestly. Okay, we're gonna go back to the big face here. It's me for the conclusion here of these 3 tracks. Yeah, only like 50 seconds or something before the loop. To be honest, sometimes there's an impact when the loop is so short in like an older game that it almost like makes it more of an earworm, because like it's not a lot to remember, and like usually when the music's good, you're not feeling that critical of it. There's some music that like is decent, but when you hear it too much, it gets kind of rough. Like the like in Persona 4, another thing listed sometimes on the worst game music of this sort of like little bit dark, mysterious track that plays every time like some of the intrigue pops up, and there's nothing wrong with it on its own. It might even be kind of good, but like you hate it by the end of that game. I feel like almost anybody can relate to like you've heard it 1,000 times, and it's always a little too on the nose as well with the situation going on. So I guess it can be a pro and a con. Clearly, like it would be crazy to say it's objectively good and catchy to have like 20-second loops that you hear a million times. But I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit, and also just I think it's interesting that sometimes a loop this short could actually lead it to be something that you just powerfully remember and associate with the game so strongly, and just like there's some short loops that are awesome. Some of my favorite game music of all time is from the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy. It has some incredible music. Not a lot of tracks, and just a few that I really, really love, but those are like, to me, like all-time classics, and I feel like they're pretty underrated or underheard. And the main one for the main card battles is pretty long without looping, actually, which is good because it's where you spend most of your time. But a couple of the others I really love, like I think it's the Grass and Lightning Club, that's just kind of jazzy piece. It's amazing, but I think it is maybe even like a less than a minute loop. And it's so good. I could never get tired of it. It's amazing. And I feel like this is one that I would not get tired of. In fact, when I finish up, I'm actually going to stick... Let's jump to like 40 minutes in. And I'm just going to make this quiet in the background while I finish talking about this. Yeah, so I heard 3 tracks. I just jumped into the same Reddit thread, I think, that I saw the Fire Emblem Awakening recommendation for like best tracks in the series, and I saw one for Fire Emblem 4 and I went, I want to hear some SNES music. And this is again like the next game on my list from this series. I've always been interested in playing it, so I thought, hey, that's perfect. And I thought, why don't I looked it up. It was like 2 minutes long. I thought, why don't I see if anybody else talks about any other tracks from 4? So I grabbed 3 that got brought up, and this was really great. This is like exactly what I hoped my experience was going to be here. I would like to do this with more games. Obviously, like, I'm just starting off this this channel in terms of reactions, and who knows if there's an audience of anybody who cares about Fire Emblem 4 enough to, like, search this up. But if anybody watches this, likes it, enjoys the type of reaction and analysis that I like to do, I would be happy to, like, you know, any game you think is great music that I haven't checked out. I would love to go and do this kind of thing, like, just find 3... You could give me the recommendations, I could look them up, but like just 3 tracks that sound like they're some of the best, and do a kind of, you know, compilation reaction like this to get an idea of like the music in the game from a few different points. I think that would be a really fun experience to do more often, and I also think that's kind of a more fun way to do suggestions from people for games and for tracks that is a little bit better than just people dropping individual tracks to do a whole video on, but also it's more feasible than people saying like listen to the whole OST. Like there's this music teacher reacts guy who does great reactions. He's amazing to entire game OSTs, and he has quite the backlog on his like spreadsheet for suggestions from people. But it just, you know, his videos are hours long in multiple parts. I really like doing this kind of like, you know, 3 to 6 tracks from a game based on people's recommendations. Yeah, I think it's enough to get a good survey, but without having to spend the time to listen to absolutely everything, where honestly, you can get a little burned out when you listen to a whole OST at once. Some of it can start to sound a bit samey. I've seen that happen to that music teacher. And sometimes you can miss some of the best stuff because it all sounds very similar. So like you want to do a small enough amount that it still sounds really fresh. And all of this sounded fresh. If you couldn't tell, I loved the third one I listened to. Though also minus the repeats, this was probably like less than 5 minutes of music, so not hard for it to sound fresh that quickly. I also love that while I'm talking, getting kind of the experience of like what it's like to hear this, you know, 45, 50 second loop over and over. And I'm not tired of it yet. It's been a few minutes, and still sounds good. You know, I'm down for this. I could probably listen to this for a good number of hours while playing the game, and I probably will sooner or later. I probably will. I don't stream anymore, so I'm not gonna like stream a playthrough. I just kind of play games privately now, but yeah, I should really play Fire Emblem 4. But yeah, if you have a game you think has great music and that I should check out a survey of tracks from, and you watch this video, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, peace.